All right, so for those of you that don't know me, my name is Bree Holland. I am a 3-star diamond premier for 2 years now. I am in the 3rd year of my business. And I have 2 little girls. I have she'll be 1 next month, and then I have a 4-year-old. She just turned 4 in January. So a busy mom. I started this business. I worked full time. So I know a lot of people, I get this a lot where people are like, yeah, it must be nice. Like you're home, like you have time. And I try to remind people of like where I came from and like where I started in this business, because so often we see people's highlight reels, especially like top coaches. We see top 10 coaches, we see elite coaches, we see all these successful coaches, right? And we're like, oh yeah, it must be nice. Like they get to stay home, they get to run this business. But you have to remind yourself that before that part of it, there was a lot of sacrifice. There was a lot of commitment, and there was a lot of decisions that went into that happening, right? It wasn't just I'm gonna like quit my job and be home and run my business around my schedule and travel, right? Like there's a lot of backstory that sometimes we forget about. So I like to remind people that I worked a job. I was a manager at a clothing store. I worked 50, 60-hour weeks. I had a 1-year-old at home, and my boyfriend worked opposite schedule of me. Like we did not see each other ever. So I just want to remind people that there is some sacrifice involved if you want that freedom of this being your thing, this being your business, that entrepreneurship, no matter what business you're in, not just coaching, it takes some freaking work, right? You have to make it work with what your life is right now before that freedom comes. But it is so worth it. Let me tell you, I've been doing this. I quit my job, my full-time outside of the house job at about, I think I've been coaching like 6 to 8 months. I was in the business for a month, and I saw somebody post about their income and being home with their kids, and I was like, I'm gonna freaking do that. Like for a month, I thought I was just gonna pay for Shakeology. I was like, I don't want my boyfriend to see me buying another diet shake and this stuff, right? Like I was like, oh, I better pay for it. So I signed as a coach, but quickly within that 30 days, I was like, holy crap, this could be my answer. Like I hated my job. I worked with like snotty teenagers, like work in retail, secondhand clothing. It was just like, blah. Like I love clothing, but I hated that job. Like it was just a nightmare. And it was just all on me. It was a small business. So I was there 24/7, constantly getting called, constantly getting texted. So I had to put that commitment into my business regardless of my situation. It wasn't like I waited for an opportunity or more time. I see so many people on these calls, and I'm like, I know that so many of you are in school and have kids and have other things going on. This business it's not something that you wait for until it's easier, right? Until it's better timing. You have to make a decision right now in this business, if you want this as a business, to show up every day. Because if you don't, by making that decision, you're saying, I don't want this bad enough, my goals aren't worth it, or you're saying, I'm a hobby coach, I don't want this to be a business, right? If you want it to be a business, you have to treat it like a freaking business. If you schedule hours, or your boss gives you hours, you don't just say, maybe I'll go in at 2 o'clock, right? You freaking go into your job at 2 o'clock if you're scheduled and you punch in. And it's the same with this business. I don't sit at home each day and go, maybe I'll message or maybe I'll hit Success Club this month. I say, I freaking need to. This is my job. This is where I want, like my life to be workable. Like I want this to be my answer. And so I don't sit there and say, maybe I'll message, maybe I won't. It's never a question. So I think you need to get very clear in your head what you want from this. If you see freedom, or the coach you signed up with showed you a taste of something that you want, maybe it's not to be home with kids, maybe it's not to quit your job, but you need to get really clear on what it is you do want, why you're going to message people, why you're going to share this, your successes, why you're going to show up and sweat it out every day, why you're going to drink your Shakeology every single day, why you're going to post on your social media those vulnerable, scary shots in your sports bra, right? Like that's scary. But why are you going to do it? For me, it started as like, oh, I'd really like to pay for that shake. Within 30 days, it was like, I'm freaking sick of my little girl standing at the door, sometimes being still asleep and having to walk out the door and not coming home till I'm laying her back down in bed. I hated that. She bawled her eyes out. She started calling the nanny mommy. She would want the nanny when she was upset, and it crushed me. That right there brought tears to my eyes. It brought a fight to my life. That wasn't just a buy a shake. That wasn't a buy a protein. That was like, this is my life. My job is screwing with my life, is screwing with my relationship with my daughter, and I'm going to do something about it. That right there lit a fire in my soul that I was like, I'm going to freaking show up. Whether it's at 2 in the morning that I'm going to message people, or I have to get up early before my job, or my break at work, I'm not going to go smoke cigarettes anymore or go across the pizza shop. I'm going to freaking sit there and message people until I hit Success Club and find clients, right? That is how bad I wanted it. I made it so non-negotiable because if I failed that, it meant I was failing my little girl. It meant I was failing my why, my one reason that I was like, you know what, I might fail at this business, but I'm not going to fail because I didn't try. I'm not going to look back on this year or next year or in 2 years, 3 years and say that I didn't try, that I didn't show up. If I fail at this, I'm going to have given it my all, right? I'm going to have no inch of like reasonable doubt to say, well, there was that one week and there was that one trip and there was that one day that I could have messaged that girl, but I decided to go out with my friends, right? There was not an inch of doubt in my mind that I was going to set every intention of showing up every freaking day. Not when I felt like it, not just when it was easy, because it's more important to show up when it's hard. It's more important to show up when you feel like you're failing, right? It's more important when you don't see anything happening in your business and you feel like you're at a standstill and Success Club isn't happening and you see no points and somebody returns something and customers are quitting and you're like, it's not working. That right there is the day that you have to show up even more. And I learned very quickly that if I sat and I was like, ooh, it's a good month, I'm just going to sit back, right? I hit Success Club early in the month. I'm going to sit back. I'm going to take it easy. I'm going to get that freedom, right? I've reached freedom. And then I realized a month or two down the road that that's when it impacted me. Like, oh, shoot, should have messaged people 3 months ago. Nobody's signing up for my challenge. It's crickets, right? Because I lost that momentum. So think of it as a snowball. When you start talking to people, right, you're rolling this ball and you want to keep rolling it, or it's going to fall apart. You have to keep pushing it to grow it. If you stop pushing it, it's really hard once it's big to get it moving again. So whether it's 2 people that you set your intentions of talking to a day, I think it was Taylor posted maybe a month ago in the group. I know she works. She has a daughter. I know there's so many coaches on here that work, that have kids. Taylor messages 30 people a day, and I was like, dang, I need to reevaluate my numbers. Like, I don't know what I'm doing over here. Like, the way she broke it down, I was like, duh, right? Like, it might be a different coach for you that you see, and you're like an aha moment. Maybe it's not my story. Maybe it's a different coach, but we have so many coaches on our team with all different things going on, right? There is no reason that if you want something out of this business that you can't have it. But you have to have such a clear foundation of why. Otherwise, you won't do it, right? If money doesn't drive you, don't say you want money. If it's college debt that you want to pay down, if you're trying to pay for your dream wedding, if you're trying to get out of a job you hate, if you're trying more, you want more time with your kids, if it's a trip that you want to take, make it something that it's worth fighting for, right? If you've never been on a plane and you're like, I want to go to freaking Florida and have it all paid for by Beachbody, let that fuel you. Maybe you don't have kids, but you're like sick of your job and you want to do something, in the arts or music or whatever, but it won't pay the bills. Let that fuel you, right? Don't let somebody else's dream fuel you, because wanting Bree to like be home with her kids isn't going to make you show up, right? What do you truly see in this business that you want, right? And write that on the wall. Make it as a banner on your phone. Create images. Write it on Post-it notes and remind yourself. For me, like I said, that moment that I had to walk out the door every single day and watch that little girl, 8 months old, put her hands on the glass and peer out at me just screaming and crying every freaking day was enough for me to come home, lay her down in bed, and instead of getting in sweats and eating chips and watching junk television, it made me message people. It made me share my story because I was so sick of it. I was so sick of somebody else raising my daughter. Why would I have a child and then I couldn't raise her, right? I couldn't be around her all the time. I missed her first steps. Her dad had to send me a video. That was enough for me to be like, sorry if there's kids, I almost swear. Whew. To say, screw it. I'm going to make this happen. Other people have done it. There's nothing different about them. They are struggling. They have depression. They're not perfect in their workouts. They were overweight. They hated their bodies. They have anxiety. They have social skills that, are lacking. They had a Facebook of 100 friends, right? If they can do it and create this, why can I not do that? There is nothing that says I cannot do that. It's not my hair color. It's not my body type. It's not whether I wear makeup or not. Somebody is going to relate to my story, and I just need to find enough of those somebodies. So remind yourself that I've just listened to Go for No. It's a book that I think everybody should listen to. It's like a 3-hour Audible. It's a quick read. And his mindset basically is, you got to fail, right? Anything worth getting to is going to take failure. If you play it in the safe zone, you're going to live a safe life. It might not be an awful life, but it's not going to be the one that you're dreaming about. So stop playing it safe. I have failed more times than I can tell you in this business. I have set more goals that I have failed at, but it has always gotten me forward motion. I might not be an elite coach, but I have made an elite goal every freaking year, and it has grown my business. I wasn't elite, but I grew it. It grew bigger. My income grew, and that was all that mattered, right? Yeah, it stung, and I was like, oh, I guess I didn't do. But guess what I'm doing this year? I was like, all right, well, I learned what not to do. I learned what I need to do more of, right? And I have an elite goal this year. Do I care if I hit it? It's not about a title. It's about pushing myself out of a comfort zone. And that goal is scary because I've failed at it twice now. And to put it out there and say, oh, maybe I should just push for Premier. I know I can hit that. I've been that twice. It wouldn't be out of my comfort zone. It wouldn't push my team. It wouldn't help anybody, right? So if there's anything that you get out of this call, I want it to be that you have to have a freaking why that makes you cry. A why that when you show up, whether it's setting your alarm at 4:30 in the morning because that's the only time you can message people or the only time you can type up a post about your workout, or if it's sitting down at 8:30 after you've had a long day at work and messaging people. Sharing your story and talking to people is the meat and potatoes of this business. If you are sitting down and creating graphics and making pictures pretty and creating groups and events and all this fluff, guess what? You're not doing the things that are going to grow a business. You might see top coaches with beautiful graphics. Guess what? They pay somebody to make those, right? Somebody else spends the 5 hours to make that perfectly placed graphic, okay? Your sweaty selfie in your basement is just fine. I think there is a place for social media and, grabbing attention pictures. I've gotten really good at it. It's taken me 3 years to get good at it. I had no idea how to even set my timer on my phone when I started this. I'm like, babe, take a picture of me. I look all drenched in sweat. And when our basement was unfinished and there's like I-beams in the background, right? It did not look pretty. I was posting dirty break table with my avocado. It was not glamorous. But what I did every single day was show up because everybody knew and they could start and people started seeing that Bree was showing up. And that is so much more important than not showing up when you feel inadequate, when you feel like quitting, when you feel like it's failing. So remember that each time you go through your day and you're like, oh, I'm not at Success Club, but I'm going to sit and watch this TV show. I'll do it tomorrow. Remember that decision ultimately is why you're going to fail or succeed at this business. Think of all the times and opportunities, the pockets of time in your day that you choose to shut out your business and maybe do something else. That right there is going to be why you fail this business. This business works. It's whether you work or not that will set you apart. I just had to show up. I had to talk to more people than the person that failed at this business, right? I saw so many coaches quit. And I was like, I'm just going to keep talking to people because there are people that are saying yes. Because coaches are succeeding at this, right? Coaches are hitting Success Club. Coaches are running challenge groups with challengers. There are before and after stories every single freaking day on Beachbody. Those people are using Beachbody programs and using Shakeology. And they are getting support from another coach. So why can't I be that coach? Right? There is no lack of people that need help with their fitness and health, that need support, that need your story. They might not need my story. The story of a girl who has, anxiety and depression and is a mom, that's not relatable to everybody. The person that struggles with eating disorders and was on, depression medication and postpartum, that is not everybody's story, and that's not going to be relatable to somebody. Okay? So you need to ask yourself, what can I bring to the table? What is unique about me? And don't be afraid for that to be your niche market, that can be who you reach. And there's no lack of people that need your story. There are so many people that I didn't talk to right away because I didn't share my story about my eating disorders. I was nervous because I thought that this business, I needed a big before after of weight loss, and that like my coach had this big, 90-pound transformation, and I had nothing to show. Like I literally had a 21-day picture, and I was like, well, I'm less bloated. I guess that's good, right? Like I felt good, but how do you post that, right? How do you post a picture and everybody's like, you look skinny in both, ya bitch. Like that's what I got. Like I got a lot of hate. And that is such a vulnerable thing to do that I stopped doing it. I posted my picture and I was like, well, that did not go over well. A lot of people were nasty. A lot of people didn't get it, right? So I shut down. It was not for another 8 months that I didn't really share. I shared my workouts, right? And I wore tank tops because I didn't want anybody to see and say I was skinny or to eat a cheeseburger. I was sick of it. And it held me back my first year. The second I was like, you know what? A coach encouraged me to share my story. I was like, well, okay, here we go. I typed it out, right? I had 3 girls reach out to me and say, thank you so much for sharing your story about eating disorders. Like I have nobody to talk to. I can't talk to my family. And 2 of those people were in a challenge group. 2 of those people I've become really good friends with. And I cannot imagine if I didn't make that post where they would be. And that right there, I was like, that was my story. That wasn't Nicole's story or Lori or Taylor's story. That was my story. And they needed that. They reached out to me and said, I needed that. Thank you so much. Right? So imagine the power of your story if you actually just shared you. And you just started being so aggressive in reaching as many people as you can so you find the people that need your story. They might not even know that they need your story until you reach out because they're in such a rut. There are so many people that I talk to that come around that sign up after I've been talking to them for a year. My best coaches on my team didn't sign up until year 2 in my business. If I had quit after 60 days and said, this Success Club thing is hard, everybody's saying no. I cannot imagine not having the people in my life that I do right now. I see so many faces on here that I've never met in person, and yet I talk to them on a daily basis as my friends. We have a team page where we all get to relate with one another and share struggles and successes and be excited for one another. Where else have you had that camaraderie between a group of women, right? That for me, I was like, I'm in. Like, I've never had girlfriends. I've never had a sorority. I was the girl in high school that was invisible. I was homeschooled. I lived in Africa. Like, let me tell you, I had the smallest friends list on Facebook. And that friends list was like my 36 cousins. I had 36 cousins on one side and 10 on the other, and I'm pretty sure I had 120 friends on Facebook. So you can imagine that I could have used the excuse of, I don't know anybody. I literally knew nobody. And I did not say that, like, that's going to stop me. Guess what? Facebook has billions of people on it. Go find somebody, right? I started adding people from all sorts of places. Like, I joined mom groups, dog groups, running groups, depression groups, all sorts of groups. What are you interested in? Canning, you could find a group. Knitting, you could find a group. Cloth diapering, you can find a group. Nursing, you can find a group. Do not use the excuse that you do not know anybody. I never signed my mom. My sister just joined the team a week ago, and I've been a coach for 3 years. I'm on good terms with my sister. She knows what I do. She just now decided to coach. So if you think that you don't know somebody, maybe you don't know them yet, but if you quit, you never will know them. You will never meet them. You will never know. It is not your job to make somebody that says no sign up. It is your job to get through enough no's to find the yeses and change somebody's life. That is what a coach does. You signed up to be a coach. You signed up to run a business. You did not sign up to get handed yeses, right? This is not a doctor's office where someone calls in and you make an appointment. You have to find the people that want to say yes. And you have to show up for those that say no and need to trust a little more, that need a little more, belief in what you do, a little more of your story, a little more of your vulnerability, so that when they are ready, they're like, that girl right there is who I want to work with because she has not held back on me. She has been there. She has talked to me. I don't know about you guys, but I do not want to be that girl selling hey girl, here's my link. I have 25% off. Boom, haven't talked to her in a year, right? I don't want to be that girl. I know this takes a lot of work. I know it takes a lot of commitment and a lot of conversations. Every time I open my Facebook, I'm like, 80 new messages. That's a lot of talking, right? I get in a mindset, I take a breath, and I go, trust that you have something to offer that person, not based on the commission that you want, not based on the coach you're looking for, but based off you, me, you guys have something to offer each and every person in your inbox, each and every person that you add as a friend, okay? I want you to be clear that it is not your job to sign everybody up for you to get a commission. It is your job to be there when they are ready and to be so utterly available to every freaking person that there is no chance in their mind that they would go to somebody else, that they by chance would buy from somebody else because they know you. They're not just buying a product, they're buying into you, your story, what you have to offer, your support that you've already given. Then, and only then, is that commission worth anything, okay? Never do I want to sell a product only for them to set it on a shelf or not be ready. It is so much better for me to have a challenger that rocks it out than having to convince somebody to buy something, be like, you need this, you need this, you need this, even if they don't. Maybe in 3 months they need it, right? It's not my job. I want to support somebody. I want them to be ready. And if trust me, I have done the convincing thing. I've been there where I'm like, I need Success Club. And those people always fall short. And a lot of times they come back in a year and they're like, hey, I know I bought it and blah, I still have my Shakeology, it's expired. Like, can I get in one of your groups? I'm like, absolutely. They just weren't ready. I convinced them. I made the decision for them and was like, somehow convinced them into buying something, right? That they weren't ready for. So be available, but talk to enough people that you do find those yeses, because the yeses are there. The people that are ready are there. You have to find them. And then those that are not ready just need to watch. They need to trust. And if you decide not to show up to your business every day, guess what? They move on. They don't see your story. They move on. They follow a different Instagram account. They follow a different coach. They buy something else. But if you continue to share, they keep watching, right? They grow with you. And they're like, now I'm ready, because they see it. So that's not a whole ton about my story, but that is my pep talk that I like giving. You guys haven't heard from me at all, besides in the team page a little bit. So I wanted to share with you guys that because it is so important in this business with numbers. And I get money is not a selfish thing. I build this business for money because I want to support my family. I want my boyfriend to retire this year. That's a lot of freaking money, right? Yeah, I'm not scared to talk about it. That's why I run this business. But if your mindset is that, right, you have to have something else that you love about this business. You can make money doing anything. I could go get a job and make money, right? Money is just money. I want to do this business because it's given me so many friends, so much passion, so much confidence in who I am. I was scared to death to speak on a team call. I was scared to death to get on a call. I was muted and not even on the call. It was my coach's call. And I was like, what's Zoom? Am I going to be seen? Full face of makeup. I did my hair. I was like, oh my God. Sweating. Never in a million years when I got on that first team call and I'm listening to her and I'm looking and I'm like, are people looking at me? I don't know who these people are, right? I'm new to the team. Never in a million years would I have thought that I would be merging with 2 other teams and talking to 21 people on a team call. Like, it ain't no thing. I talked on Anita Myron's call and I was like, 200 coaches on YouTube? What? You know? But getting out of your comfort zone is what this business is about. Don't be afraid of the no's. Don't be afraid of your story being specific. Don't be afraid of your pictures being something different than what another coach's pictures are. If it's a slight change, but you're proud of it for a certain reason, I tell you, I weigh the same amount in each darn picture, and people are like, how much weight did you lose? I'm like, nothing. But can't you tell I look freaking amazing? Like, it's not about that, right? Share those pictures. Share that journey. My skin looks better. My cellulite is less. My skin is glowing. My hair is better. My hair is awful right now because I'm going through postpartum hair loss. I share that. I'm like, y'all, my hair's falling out. Like, that's nothing to be ashamed about. Guess what? I found 3 people that had gone through that same thing that I talked to, right? I'm like, ooh, that girl would make an awesome coach, right? Like, holy cow. It opens doors. Your story, those little things where you're like, I'm dealing with chronic acne. I can't get rid of this cellulite. All those things that people are looking for quick fixes, be the solution in a healthy, relatable way that's manageable. That's something that's maintainable for the rest of their life. I joined this going, well, maybe. Like, I've done Advocare. I've done diet pills. When I was 18, I was in the hospital for taking diet pills at 80 pounds. Like, I have done everything, thinking I'm too fat, that I'm too this, too that, right? Find those people. Bring them in. Give them a community, because half the time, 90% of the time, not even half the time, that's what they need is community. Once they feel that community, it's not about the product. They're like, dang, like, Christina, I don't care what you're doing. Like, I'll buy it. Like, just, I want that support. I want that structure. I want that team. I want that friend. My husband's always saying, like, I've gotten fat since kids. My boyfriend's so, like, blah, blah, blah. You know, like, they don't have that support. I know I didn't. My boyfriend's great, but he doesn't know how to relate to a chick that's going through depression because of having a kid, like hormone stuff, right? So if you leave this call with one thing, it would be that you need to find why you love this business, why you're going to show up, because it's not enough to just show up when you feel like it. There are a lot of days I don't feel like it. I don't want to talk to one more person. I don't think I can make one more positive post, right? Like, guys, how many times are you like, I don't want to post about my workout. I don't want to bug any more people about my freaking hair loss or my skin or like whatever it is. You're constantly adding new people that need to see your story. So remember that. It's not about you. It's about those people you can reach, right? And when you spin it like that, it makes it a whole lot less scary. When you're like going into a conversation going, I don't know Angela that well, but maybe she's got something deep that she needs me, right? You never know until you make that connection. It's not your job to make that call, whether they'll be interested, whether they'll buy, whether they'll be a coach. It's not your call. It's not your decision, okay? So find your why. People feel that passion. When I go live and I'm with my kiddos cooking, they see I'm excited. I'm a happy mom. They can feel that. I'm not just spamming them and like pretending to be happy, right? When I feel like it, I'm like, I'm a genuine happy mom. And when I'm struggling, I share that too. And I'm like, y'all, momming, right? I share all sides of it. I share all aspects of my life. But I put it positively because that's what I choose. I show people it's a choice. This business is a choice. It's not something that's going to just happen. It is hard work. It does take consistency. It does take showing up when you feel like you're failing. More than 30 days, more than 60 days. It takes more than a year. To truly roll this ball, you have to keep showing up, right? And if you stop, don't imagine to pick it up back in 30 days. It's going to take even more effort, so why not just keep pushing? If you are in this for the long haul, show the frick up to your business every freaking day. Whether it's messaging one person, making one post, I don't care. You have to freaking show up, okay? All right, any questions? I guess I'll open it to questions, and then we'll I forgot recognition. I had recognition pulled up, but you guys saw it in the team page. So make sure you give shout out to your coaches and friends in the team from, let's see, what was it, the 23rd? Yes, 23rd. Any questions? You can unmute yourself or you can post it in the chat. I'm losing my voice. And I'm drinking coffee at 9 o'clock at night.
Oh, me too. Cheers.
It's
I have a
tough,
question. Can you hear me okay?
Huh? Yes.
Oh, okay. So I had a quick question. So I have on my post, a couple of my cousins actually are like, "What are you doing? And you're so positive. I want to jump in. You make me want to be part of what you're doing." So I guess I'm kind of like at a loss of, I'm trying to figure out I want to be myself, obviously, which is positive and all that, but I guess how to like spread the word and kind of come on in. It's exciting.
When it's a specific person, I usually ask, like I create a conversation and I ask what they love. What are they seeing draws them in? Once I know what's connected them, because I make all sorts of posts. Sometimes it's a mom that's like, I love to earn income from home. And sometimes it's somebody that loves their job that's like, I love your fitness and health goals, right? Like I draw them in and I ask a lot of questions. If you ask questions and you get to know what is inspiring and drawing them in, then you have a solution. If it's the money, you're like, girl, I would love for you to join my team. Let me help. You know, we've got a team, we've got trainings, like let's do it together. As a new coach, Nicole especially, I didn't know what the frick I was doing. I was posting when I was an Emerald. Guess who my two coaches were? My boyfriend and my friend down the street. I was like, girl, you got to buy this. You got to pay the discount thing. It's going to be great. And then I'm posting about join my amazing team. Nobody freaking knew I had two people on my team, right? I was like, I'm part of a bigger team, right? Like it didn't have to be my two coaches, my big, amazing, right?
Okay.
I thought it was an amazing opportunity. Why would I not share it and shout it from the rooftop? So ask the question.
How I feel. Okay. Yeah. Okay, and then one other quick question. I'm sharing
it. I know that people love it, right? Like people relate to it. I just need to know what they are relating to. Is it the stay-at-home mom? Is it the money? Is it the travel that I put? Like I go on trips. You want to go on freaking trips? Join the business, right? You want to be a stay-at-home mom? You love your job? You want to just pay for the Shakeology? You want to go meet these trainers? Great, right? And then you know how to draw them in. You know how to, you know, share the opportunity because there's so many reasons why people join this. It's not just, I want to be a stay-at-home mom. You don't have kids, right? And you and I connected. Right. So, so many different avenues. But ask questions. Don't make it your agenda, right? Go in it finding out their agenda. What would connect them? And you can be like, dang, girl, you want to travel? You know, Robin, I want to be a trainer. Yes. Right? Like there are so many things that it's like, it's not my decision to say why you would love this business, but there are so many reasons that you could love this business. For me, it's all of it. Like I love to travel. If I was working that job that I did before and Aaron was working the hours that he did and we had two kids, the travel thing would not exist. The fact that what I make now affords Aaron to even like just take the time off for us to travel together now is incredible. Right? We get to experience that. I got to take him to Chicago and just be like, you need to take the weekend off and surprise him, right? I would have never been able to do that. All my money from my old job went to freaking childcare. Like, I don't know even why I was working. But when you draw somebody in, it's your story. And so they connect and you guys have something that connects you. Each and every one of you guys have something that when somebody's like, right? Like I saw that post and it inspired me. Something about you guys, and it means that you have something in common, right? Whether you bond over postpartum hair loss or quitting your job or losing 20 pounds or ditching the Doritos, like whatever it is, somebody else is gonna be like, oh my gosh, I have an Oreo addiction. Like how'd you kick it, right? It's hard for me to reach out to people since most of my friends are broke college students. That's why I have to invite. Exactly. Jandra, I think you just, I don't know how to pronounce your name. Sorry, I might have said it wrong.
No, it's right.
What is it?
It's right. It's Jandra.
Jandra. Okay, perfect. I was like, I might have said that wrong. Yeah, I talk to a lot of girls from college. They follow my, like usually from Instagram, I get a lot of college girls. What I would say to you is usually there's turnaround with that. So like I just talked to a girl and we've been talking for like a year and a half. She started as a freshman. She's now a sophomore. And, you know, we've been talking and she wants to do it. She wants to join my team, right? So does that mean I'm like, oh, she didn't buy this month, I'm just going to stop talking to her? I'm going to keep planting that seed. So like, yes, you're going to have to invite like crazy. You might have to branch out and maybe you have other interests that you could find like other people that are out of college that might have, you know, like be out and graduated and on with their careers. I would write down a lot of what I do, like a brain dump every week, guys. And I write down what I love. It might be different every week. Things that like are in my head, you know, like at the moment, shopping, because I was just in Chicago. I'm like, like go join groups, find common interest groups. I know my coach does like knitting. I'm like, I would not have found you in a knitting group. Like that, my thing, right? I found her in a mom's group. Like momming was my thing. So there might be different avenues. We have a Boston Terrier. I'm not even a pet person. I bought the dog for my boyfriend. I take care of the dog. But I joined Boston Terrier groups and I share pictures of her and I've met like 20 people in that group, right? It's not a fitness group. We did not bond over fitness and health. But you never know from those 20 people who's going to see my post now because we became friends over our Boston Terrier. Monica says, my family thinks this is stupid. Honestly, they don't pay your bills. Like at the end of the day, my friends that thought this was stupid, my family would have never said it was stupid. They're like, yeah, we support you. Like, thanks, guys. They've never bought a thing for me. Right? I was like, you don't believe this works? Let me show you how this works. And look at me now. Right? I don't really care. Like, I don't really care because they don't pay my bills. They don't get to be around my daughter every day. I was like, this is my life. And I'm not going to have somebody tell me how it's supposed to be lived. And I'm not going to work for somebody else's dream anymore. Again, I worked at a small clothing store. So it was my boss, the owner of the store, who was like, I want to retire, get out of here. Like, here, Bree, run my store, right? Like, she was traveling. I'm like, well, that's nice that I'm running your store and your business. Like, go live your dream. I'll just work for you and your dreams, right? Or you can bust your butt for your dreams. It might take 3 to 5 years, but let me tell you, at 27, 6 figures is not bad. When I didn't go to college, I have no degree, y'all. Like, I was homeschooled, and then I went to public school and graduated, and then went to hair school and dropped out, and I've been to no other college, no other classes, no social media training. I got nothing. I worked at a bar, I managed Victoria's Secret, and then I got pregnant. That was my life. I was a stripper. I was on drugs. I was depressed. If anybody can do this business, let me tell you, anybody can do this business, right? It doesn't matter what people think. It doesn't matter what people say. If you see potential in this business and you start believing in yourself and going, you know what? I'm going to get more of that positive juice. I'm going to show up in my challenge groups. Like, make it happen. There are so many people on this call, some that I just met for the first time. Like, I met Desiree in Nashville. I'd never met her before, but I was like, we just bonded. Like, we had this connection because we got the positive Beachbody juices flowing. It wasn't about, she doesn't have kids. Like, oh, I guess we can't really talk about anything or relate, right? She's like this smart person over there, like living her life, no kids, like nothing holding her down. And I'm this mom over here just like trying to float. Like, no, we bonded because we both have dreams and we aren't about to like have anybody tell us that it's not possible, right? No is not an answer. I can go work for somebody or I can just bust my butt for myself. Yeah, it's hard some days, but it's totally worth it. The depression, the anxiety, a lot of us struggle with that. It is not something that's easy. But guess what helps? That positive mindset, showing up in the team page, showing up with your challenge groups, doing your workouts, eating healthy, that pulls you out of it. As much as you want to push it away, the more I do it, the less I'm depressed, the less days I have that I'm in a slump. The more I just show up, even when I don't want to, I'm like, oh my gosh, this headache, this migraine, I feel like crap. I want to hide in a closet. I'm going to send my kids to grandma's house. I'm like, just go do your freaking 30-minute workout and you'll feel better. And I do. Like, I do. And that's what gets me out of those. Yeah, Alyssa, they are the last ones to join you. I just mentioned my sister joined me. It's not that she didn't believe in it. She wasn't ready herself, right? Who am I to push her and be like, hey, you just had a baby. Hey, you're working your butt off. Like, join my team. She knows what I do. I didn't have to push her. I didn't have to make her or convince her. She just saw what I was doing and was like, screw it. I'm going to do that. Right? Like, and guess what? Now she's doing it because she wants to, not because she wants to do it for me or has a different agenda. She has a why now. She just had a baby and she's like, screw it. I'm sick of being away from her. She's already back to work. Her little one's 2 months old, and she's like, this cannot go on, right? So she has her own why now. She has a reason that she's like, Bree, I need to do that. So your family, they don't have to like this. You're not telling them to buy it. You're not selling them anything, right? You don't have to convince them. Show them. Show them why this is important to you. You don't have to convince them. Just show them. Show them that you're showing up. Show them that you're not stopping, that you're not quitting, that it's not a phase. Show them it's something more. Show them that it means a lot to you. And the more you do that, they're going to be like, that girl's really changing. She's come out of a lot. Like, she's doing a lot, right? How many hours do you spend messaging people? Whew. It's a great question. I don't know. It is probably 60 to 80% of what I do is talk to people in this business, if not more in the beginning. Right now, like, I've grown a network over the last 3 years of a lot of people. So a lot of people come to me now. But the first year, even 2 years, I would say, like 70, 80% of my business was talking to people, was finding the people, right? Like I said, you can make fancy graphics. You can create amazing groups and outlines and schedules and buy the cutest planners and have a schedule and a thing and a notebook and write it out. But unless you're talking to a flipping lot of people, you're not growing a business. You're not. Because that's what we're about, is connections. So if you're not connecting with anyone, right? So it's not really about the hour. It's about where your tasks are. If you have 30 minutes a day to run this business, you're not going to grow as fast as somebody that's running at 50 hours a week, right? This is my full-time job, and I treat it as such. So sometimes it's, between the hours of 9 and 1 a.m. that I work. Sometimes the baby naps and I get to work during the day. It kind of depends. People that have full-time jobs, when I had a full-time job, it was like pockets of 10 minutes. Like, I was like, if I had 10 minutes, I did not waste that prettying a picture for Facebook. I spent that talking to people, right? Like, at 10 minutes of time, I can message 8 to 10 people. I can send a hey girl message. I can send a follow-up. I can send friend requests in 10 minutes. That is more important than putting a picture through 50 filters and then an app and then putting words and then, like, no. If you're not talking to people, whether you get 1 and 2 posts up a day, you don't need 5 posts if you're not talking to people and people aren't following you and they don't see it anyway, right? So make sure the time that you do have is well spent. A lot of people say they don't have time to run this business, and I see them posting on Facebook, random, depressing, little bleh. And I'm like, oh, you don't? You just posted about some TV show that I have no idea what that TV show is even about. I've never even watched it, never heard of it. You just posted about being depressed because the store was out of the brand of chips that you like. Like, So you scrolled Target and then you watched This Is Us. Got it, but you don't have time, right? Like, be real with yourself and use the pockets of time that you have wisely. Because I guarantee you have the time. It's just about making it a priority. There's lots of TV shows that I have on my DVR right now, but I'm on a team call, right? Like, and then after this, I have to message people. I haven't done my power hour. I'm not going to be like, all right, well, team call, at least I did something. Like, no, I have to do my business. So just be very proactive about where that time is being used. I think that's it. Anybody else have questions? I know we've been going for about, I don't know how long you guys want this call to be, but hopefully this was helpful. I think I got all of them. Oh, thanks, Monica. Love having you on the team. I think that was it. Angela said I had to buy my sister challenge pack for her and she still didn't want to do it after the month. She unfollowed on Facebook. Yeah, you got to grow thick skin. Not everybody wants you. Like, that's fine, right? Like, there's all the time. Like, I think of it this way. I go to TJ Maxx and it's like my favorite post to do because I love like the comments that I get and it gets good traction for my page. But I always put on 2 outfits. I know what I'm going to buy or not buy, right? Honestly, I don't really care what people think. But it gets traction, right? People want to give you their opinion. Everybody wants to talk about themselves. People like talking about themselves. So I'll put 2 outfits on. Guess what? Most likely, I've already left the store when I made that post. I've already bought or not bought. But people love sharing what they think. right? So do that. Like, it's not pretty usually. I mean, TJ Maxx like dressing rooms are awful, right? Like the lighting's bad. I'm like, which dress should I get? Yeah, I don't wear dresses. I just put them on because I knew people would post it. You just have to do you. They don't have to like it. They don't have to like either dress. I don't really care. Right? You don't have to care what somebody thinks. You can buy the other dress. I posted about swimsuits. I bought the swimsuit that everybody's like, don't buy that one. I'm like, oh, well, I did, but okay. Right? It's not like a personal thing. Same thing with your story. Not everybody has to like your story. Not everybody has to connect with your story. You're not the boss, right? You're your boss. You find the people that do connect, and you reach out, and you make sure that you're available to them. Okay. I think that's it. I'm losing my voice. I'm going to cut it off. If you have questions for me, feel free to reach out. I would ask, though, it came up the other day, like when you're friending people on Facebook, don't go friend every single coach on our team. You can follow, you can message. Everybody should have their Facebook set to public, right? If you're running a business, it should be to public so people can see your stuff. So don't go friend everybody on the team. The only reason I say that, because people then on your friends list are like, oh, who's that person? Like our stuff starts showing up in their newsfeed and they'll friend. I'm not friends with everybody, so I don't want to sign somebody up that you've been talking to, right? So you can message me. You don't have to be my friend. So that is why if you do send a friend request to me, I probably decline. It's not because I don't want to be your friend. It's only because I value that you have room on your Facebook for your following, for the people that you're adding, and I would hate to sign somebody up, and I would hate for, vice versa. So that's the only reason I do that. I do save room for my team, for the coaches I sign up for, people, and I will friend as we go because we run groups together. But just something to be aware of, because I know it came up a few times, that, it's great to friend people, but save room for that following, save room for, those things. If you're working with somebody on the team with a project, yeah, friend them. But you don't go through the team page and go friend everybody on our team. You would fill up your friends list with a bunch of coaches. So, just something to be aware of. I just thought I'd cover that because it had come up. So hopefully that makes sense. If you friend me and I don't accept, it's not because I don't love you or don't want to talk to you. Feel free to message me. My Facebook is public, so you can see, share, follow, whatever. Okay, love you guys. Quit accepting coach requests. Yeah, it's just you don't want to you don't want a bunch of coaches seeing your post, right? You want a bunch of non-coaches ready to coach to see your stuff. So that is it for me tonight. I'll see you guys on the team page. Have a great week. Go Rack Success Club. Remember, it is up to you to find the people, not for them to come find you, okay? I will post this recording up so you can tag your coaches in it.